my friends, this is Amner Hunter from AmnerHunter.com, the place where you can get tons of free resources, content, and tools for your music productions and guitar. Thank you very much for being here and welcome to this new video where I wanna share with you this new compressor, the TDR MOLOTOK. It's from the company Tokyo Dawn Records, and it's a really cool compressor. I believe it's one of the best, if not the best, compressor of 2020. It's completely free. I want to share with you how it sounds in a mix and some of their unique functionalities that I found. I'm going to leave all the applicable links down below, so let's get to it, my friends. So as you can see, I have my session here in Cubase. This is a mix of a kind of rock and roll track, rock and roll song. I don't have any other plugins here on my inserts other than that the TDR MOLOTOK on the stereo out or on the master bus, another TDR MOLOTOK on the drum bus, one compressor MOLOTOK on the lead vocals, and one compressor MOLOTOK on the bass guitar. I want to share with you how I use this plugin, the basic parameters that I use. I haven't done anything else. I just have here one limiter in the final chain of the master bus just to prevent some peaks going till 0 decibels. I have been working only on the levels and the balances of the faders. So I have the compressor here. This is the one on the master bus. It looks like a regular compressor. It has regular controls such as threshold, attack, release, makeup, ratio, right? So this compressor has a couple of unique things that I wanted to share with you as well. So you have here the sidechain high pass. For instance, when you compress a mix, the low end information is going to be all over the place, right? It's going to be out of control most of the times. This filter allows the compressor to work properly across the frequency spectrum. By cutting some low-end information, you are going to be compressing in a more correct way. When it comes to, for instance, the mix bus, the master bus, or some other instruments, obviously if you want to compress a bass guitar or some bass instruments, you want to put off this control. But for instance, on the master bus, I want to leave it at 120 Hertz. That means that below 120 Hertz, this compressor is not going to be affected by those frequencies that regularly they are all over the place most of the times. Another cool feature, which is this knob, it's called alpha, beta, sigma. All the way to the left, the compressor has a circuit that allows it to act very quickly to the transients and very quickly to attack those transients. Here in the middle, it's the beta circuit, which is a double mode circuit. It functions better on buses, on group tracks. According to the manual, it's better to leave it like this on group tracks, so like a mix bus, a drum bus, vocal bus, etc. For individual tracks, they recommend you to leave it in alpha, and the sigma mode, it's a circuit that acts very slow, so the compressor won't act a lot on the transients and it will attack very slow the transients and peaks. So since I'm on the master bus, I will leave it in beta. Another cool feature of this plugin, this is the delta button. This allows me to listen only what the compressor is processing. You can only hear the compression going on. It will solo out only that part of the sound. Another thing to keep in mind is that here on the window, you can click here and you have the option to see more gain reduction here. You will see more decibels, 18 for instance, or 32 decibels. So I'm gonna leave it at, let's say, 12 dB. The knee control that you have here allows you to have a curve that can be more aggressive. If the knee is at 1, it's a more aggressive compression. If the knee is at 0, it's a more softer compression. One thing to keep in mind is that you put here this mode on precise. Live serves well for recording, tracking live, and echo is just to save some CPU power. And precise, it will consume you a little bit more of CPU power, but it will be more with high fidelity. Another thing that I recommend you guys is here in this button where it says processing, always check this box right here where it says highest quality rendering. So what I want to achieve on the mix bus is a little bit of compression, let's say 2 to 3 decibels of gain reduction. So I'm going to use a slow attack, which is kind of like 40-50 milliseconds. I will use a medium release time, not so fast. It could be 25 milliseconds. I'm gonna leave it at beta. The ratio is fine by default, 4:1, and with the threshold I will tell the compressor how much to compress with this setting. So let's check it out here on the master bus. I am what's wrong with this society. They burned down our Babylon, the serpent servants, the morning star disease. This is our time. No more excuses. We can change this. This is our time. I'm gonna make up that gain that was reduced, okay, with the makeup gain. You can use this bypass button as well. Okay, and then with this button enabled, you can hear only what the compressor is doing to the signal, right? It's reducing only those parts where there's more volume. Okay? You listen carefully there. Okay, with a little bit of compression on the master bus, the result will be that the mix will be more consistent. It will give the mix a little bit more of punch, and everything will sound more even. It will glue the mix a little bit with just a couple of decibels of gain reduction. So let's jump up with the MOLOTOK here on the drum bus. Alright, so let's check out this. What I'm looking for here is that all the transients of that kit will go through this compressor, right? So I'm looking for a slow attack as well. I don't want to kill those transients, so I just want to leave it at 50 milliseconds, let's say, and I'm going to use a fast release so that the compressor is ready for all the peaks, all the hits of that drums. All right, so I'm going to use a fast release, and one thing to consider is that when you use very fast attacks and very fast release, the compressor will add a little bit of distortion, a little bit of character to that tracks. I'm going to leave it here at, let's say, 5 milliseconds, very fast release time. I'm gonna leave this here on the beta mode and beta circuit, ratio 4:1, and I'm going to harden that knee a little bit so that the compression is a little bit more aggressive. Let's check it out. I'm looking for a 3-4 decibels of gain reduction, right? already can hear a little bit of more attack and more punch of the drums. With the attack slow, I'm letting those transient go through. Let's check out what the compressor is doing with the delta button. There you can listen only what the compressor is doing, alright? Only the compressed part of the audio. Before, after. Let's check it out in the mix. So you can listen a lot more the drums with more punch, and it's not more volume necessarily. It means that the drum bass is being squashed a little bit, and that hits, and those hits are going to be a little bit harder. Now let's check out TDR MOLOTOK on the lead vocals. Here I'm trying to compress kind of 4 to 5 decibels as well of gain reduction, and I'm going to achieve that with the medium attack. I want some of those transients to go through, but some other transients not go through. I'm going to choose 20 to 25 milliseconds of attack. I'm going to use a medium release. I'm going to use alpha mode here. I'm going to leave the sidechain high pass filter on, and I'm going to use a 4:1 ratio. That's fine. I want to use a knee that's a little bit aggressive, but not too aggressive. Let's look for 3 or 5 decibels of gain reduction, especially when the vocalist is screaming. The serpent servants, the morning star disease. This is our time. No more excuses. We can change. You can notice that when the vocalist screams and sings a little louder, the compressor acts more. The gain is being reduced a little more, and that's fine because we want to achieve vocal will sit better in the mix. If all the words, if everything that he's singing will sit better across the mix, will sound more consistent across the mix. Change this. This is our time to break this. I am what's wrong with this. When the vocalist is singing like with not so much volume, the compressor is not acting a lot. So with these controls, with these parameters, I'm achieving that. So let's do some makeup gain here. Society. Just to level match the input and output, right? They burned down our Babylon. The serpent servants. Let's check out in a mix. The morning star disease. This is our time. No more excuses. We can change this. This is our time to break this. I am what's wrong with this society. They burned down our Babylon. The serpent servants, the morning star disease. This is our time. It allows the vocals to be more controlled all over the mix, right? And when the singer screams, the vocals are not gonna be all over the place, and they are gonna be controlled, and all the instruments are going to work better together. Let's put some compression on the bass. I like to compress a lot the bass. I like to squash those dynamics. It's okay because the bass most of the times it's all over the place. The low frequencies are very uncontrolled. I don't want to let those transients to go through. So I want to have a very even and very consistent volume. For that, I'm going to use a fast attack, 10 milliseconds. I'm going to use a medium release for this, 25, and I'm going to leave this mode in alpha. I'm going to put a higher ratio here, maybe 5, 6 to 1. And I'm gonna turn off this controller because I want to affect also those low frequencies that are right here below 120 Hertz. I'm going to turn off this control. I want a hard knee here, so an aggressive compression, and let's look for 6-8 decibels of gain reduction. We can change this. Obviously, I'm going to lose quite a little bit of volume, so I'm going to make up that. Almost every note is being compressed, alright? We can hear with the delta control that every note is being compressed. There's not a single note that is going to get through the compressor without the processing. Let's put the bass in context of a mix. Will give the bass more punch as well, and each note will stand out. Let's check out how everything is without compression and with all this compression added to the mix. The morning star Listen carefully everything. I think that you have a better mix there, more consistent and with more punch, with a little bit more of control of those dynamics, so that will allow you to have a more professional mix. I think this is a great compressor. I think this is the best compressor of 2020. Let me know, guys, what you think about this. Don't forget to go to amnerhunter.com, where I have some freebies for you as well, such as PDF ebooks for guitar players or music producers. I have some tools such as presets of some plugins. I have some guitar impulse responses for you as well, a cool super package. Thank you very much for watching the video, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.